only share video footage of other people's content. So the content I'm talking about today is the lady that was in labor in the Mesquite, Texas hospital, who was totally ignored while she was in pain and screaming and telling the nurse that the baby was in her ass. She felt like she was having the baby, but she was completely ignored because they were going through the paperwork process. And they told her they would not accept her into the delivery room because she didn't sign any documents. But 12 minutes later, she ended up having a baby that had some complications due to the delay of her being admitted to the delivery room. The first thing is this: I am so happy that they are bringing awareness to these types of stories, because this is not the first incident where a person of color have entered into a hospital facility and have been totally ignored, when we all know that life and death is a matter of seconds in how you respond. The mother did everything she did correctly. She called the hospital. She let them know she was coming in. Her daughter was in labor. The daughter, she did everything she could do possibly. She was informing the nurse that the baby was coming, but they completely ignored her, took their sweet time, and it wasn't a sense of urgency. And I believe that is why the baby had some complications. And what this tells me is that these types of facilities have to do better with the people that they hire, because I believe if she was a white woman in this situation, that this would have been handled completely different. Regardless to how many children a woman has, every labor is different. Every birth is different. And no, pain is pain. I don't care what color you are. If you are experiencing pain on a level of 10 and your contractions are coming every second, then that's what it is. You cannot make that type of stuff up. I'm happy that they decided to film this matter and share it with the world. People don't realize that your consumers are the ones that pay you to perform anything that you have. Your consumers are the one, or are the reason your business is operating. And when you take an oath as a nurse to treat people with dignity and respect and give them exceptional care, color should never matter. But in this case, we saw that this nurse responded totally like, do 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 do. Nothing was happening. She responded as if it was not a sense of urgency. But I believe that this video footage will be examined. I believe that the hospital will take notice of this and they will correct this matter. Because once people stop going to the hospital facility for help, all you will have is a building with a bunch of equipment and no consumers. Where do you think your hospital will end? Just like the rest of them, closed down. And then there's the God factor, who sits high and look below, and he will just correct this matter. And sometimes these matters, when he corrects it, will leave your family without an income. You have to be careful in how you handle people despite their race. You know, what they say, you call a spade a spade. And we know that there was a video that went viral where there was another black woman who was complaining about the treatment she was receiving, especially when she was advocating for herself. I mean, I don't understand how you go into a hospital to save your life and you end up dying. This is what you call human error. Like, you cannot put your personal feelings, involve your personal feelings into matters like this or work for facilities like this when, that's where your income is coming from. You are in a primarily underserved community, and you said by your own admission you want to help these people. So you cannot go and ignore the people you have to help because poor judgment. Thank God that the lady did not die and the baby was born alive. It could have been so many complications from that one act of ignorance. Because in my opinion, that's what it was. It was misplaced judgment. Now, how can a hospital thrive when you have multiple lawsuits of you violating people's civil rights when they enter upon your facility? And the good thing about all of this is that social media plays an important part of bringing awareness to these types of stories. Other than that, they'll get swept under the rug. There was one video I saw where a nurse dropped a baby. How do you even make that mistake? You're a nurse. If you can't do the job, maybe this isn't the field for you. Maybe you need to reconsider what you want to do. Maybe you want to stay at home so that you can rant and keep your ugly attitude and your unthoughtfulness for people in human services so they can be safe. So when they go into a hospital facility, they can be expected to be served. You discriminated against that lady. And this isn't the first time that this happened. And someone posted her license number and everything. And let me tell you something. There was people that actually got convicted and arrested for taking a pill from patients. One pill, stealing medication. They lost their license because of that. You gotta be careful when interacting with the public and, you allow your truthful feelings to rear its ugly head. You just cannot be like that in human services, because human services itself is a job. It's not about money. It's about the care of human beings helping one another. And when you lose sight of that, then you don't belong in that field. Me, you, or anyone. She should have been publicly ashamed of herself and publicly, um, what's that word? When you bring it to the public, I can't think of it. But yeah, she should have been publicly ridiculed for her actions. And even though I know she was doing her job, but she made poor judgment in doing her job to act as if that was not an emergency. Then they get mad when we take our business elsewhere. But that's the beautiful things about other facilities, that it's going to be about their money, about their clients, their customers, and that is going to operate accordingly and know the purpose of why they are in that situation or that company hired them. And although she was doing her job, as someone said, she could have got that information in the delivery room. And if the lady was going there for her care, then the information is in the computer. They have access to that information. They was going to induce her labor, her mom said. So the baby was expected to be born within the time frame that it was. So for them to delay the lady or deny her access to the delivery room did not make any sense. And I think there need to be thorough training when it comes to these types of cases, that this never ever happens again. And I know we all make mistakes. We're human. We're born to err. But that seemed like that was intentional in my own opinion. And again, I have to go back to, had if she was a white lady, would that have been handled in that manner? I know they always say don't play the race card, but what other reason was she handled that way? I want y'all to chime in, and I want y'all to watch the video. I shared it on my shorts. And, if you're a nurse or a patient, a person that's just in the medical field, give me some insight about how this could have been handled differently. On that note, guys, I want y'all to have a wonderful day. Stay vigilant and be aware. People, places, and things. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.